Here's a review for Ballerina, the spin-off of the John Wick films. And in case you're dumb as and couldn't tell from the trailers, the advertising lets you know it's a spin-off of those films, by the official title of the film being From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. I guess I don't keep up with movie news like I used to, because I didn't know this movie was a thing until seeing a poster for it a few months ago. After how John Wick Chapter 4 ended, I assumed the series was done, but I guess that was a foolish assumption on my part. But this film is set in between Chapter 3 Parabellum and Chapter 4, and tells the story of a female assassin who embarks on a quest for vengeance for those responsible for her father's death when she was young. Now, any movie set in the world of John Wick has one job, and that's to deliver on high quantities of relentless action, which this movie accomplishes. You get a good amount of those classic hand-to-hand fight/gun combat scenes that seemingly and thankfully get longer and longer the more they show, which is why these action scenes are relentless, but that's not a bad thing. What helps is some variety when it comes to the gimmicks in the various fights. There was a fight with bombs that was pretty creative, your basic hand-to-hand fights were great, but the best scene was one that involved flamethrowers. This sequence was great, mainly because if you see it in Dolby, the sound will literally blow you the out of your seat. But I gotta imagine it's gonna be tough for some audiences to get past the whole girl power, girl boss angle for this movie, based on the new protagonist we follow here. A female assassin in the same vein as John Wick, who's got her own tragic backstory that fuels her need for vengeance. It was a pretty good opening backstory scene for her, and the initial training parts with her were really good as well. Being a ballerina is clearly painful and the actress Ana de Armas was good. There's probably no more physically demanding role in Hollywood than being a lead in a John Wick film, and she's great in the action scenes. But there's just not much to the character outside the opening backstory. It's a very straightforward film in that regard, and the other John Wick films are like that to some degree. But those films, specifically the sequels, had more sophisticated storytelling than this film does. The movie had a somewhat potentially interesting twist/story reveal that happens towards the end, but unfortunately nothing meaningful is done with it. As a spin-off, and more importantly set in between Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, this film is able to incorporate the mainstays from the John Wick franchise. The ballet teacher from Chapter 3 is here, but there's also Ian McShane back as Winston, a posthumous appearance from Lance Reddick as the concierge, but most importantly, the pleasant return of the Baba Yaga.
We called him Baba Yaga. The boogeyman?
John Wick. Keanu Reeves in this role continues to be an awkward acting national treasure, but be forewarned that this is a John Wick film, but it's not a John Wick film. Meaning this isn't a starring role for him if you're here to see him in a whole lot of John Wick type action. I will say that he was in the movie just enough to where putting him on the poster isn't false advertising, but his presence was likely vital to selling this movie. The movie itself had consistently great action and classic John Wick action, which is always going to be fun to watch. It didn't exactly make for a great movie because it was missing those elements of character development or just character in general. It's close to being meh, but I'd say I liked it enough, as in barely. The star of the John Wick films is the action, and as long as they can do that, I'll be game for more films to come, with this movie tease more to come from this ballerina protagonist herself. So that'll do it for this review of Ballerina from the world of John Wick. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching.